Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It's Black Thor, Icewater, and yours truly, Puma. I know that Black History Month is supposed to be over with, but we're taking 2 more days. We're going to the 31st or March 3rd on this one because they only give us 28 days in February. But we're going to go to March Madness with college basketball. This is what I've been waiting for all year. I know Black, he's going to be picking Kansas. I don't know why he's even talking about this subject, but let's talk about this Ice college basketball, man. Alabama, a couple of weeks ago, just jumped into the number 1 spot. We're going to talk a little bit about them and the situation they're in. They're now number 2, and Houston is number 1, followed by Kansas. Kansas is hanging in there. I don't know how, but they're hanging in there. And I know Black is smiling about that because that was his winner last year. UCLA, I kept telling people about UCLA, Ice, and UCLA is number 4. They're talking about number 1 seeds. Houston, Alabama, Kansas, and UCLA. Purdue, a lot of people are seeing the chinks in the armor with Purdue. What do you say, sir?
Yeah, a lot of it you already hit, but I got to start with Kansas, Black Thor's favorite team. Kansas snuck their way back up, right? We're talking about it's going to be a down year. Didn't know they lost a lot of guys. They lost some NBA players. And here they sit at number 3, just sitting there going like, just very quietly. They're very sneaky. You got to watch them. We'll see what they do. But, they're going to make a hell of a run in the tournament. So I want to see if Black Thor is going to really pick them, but this time again. But number 4, UCLA, what can you say? Guards are playing phenomenal. Nice play inside. I think they're literally going to be a number 1 seed. Early on, you wouldn't say that. You didn't know that. I think they're going to be one of the number 1 seeds in the tournament. Little Mick Cronin over there is getting them together. I still don't know, but I guess he's going to try to prove me wrong one day. He's going to finally try to win something, but kudos to them for playing real well. Number 6 is Marquette. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
I mean, Shaka Smart, really? Hell, I ain't thought this serious about, everybody talk about Dwayne Wade, but I ain't thought about Marquette since, hell, Bo Ellis, Butch Lee, Al McGuire, and Jerome Whitehead was on the bench. That was a long, long time ago. Another team I think is playing real well is, and I'm going to be watching them very closely, so don't say I ain't never tell y'all nothing, but number 7, Baylor. Baylor is a dangerous team. You got to think about it, too. You might say, well, Baylor is not maybe strung along a lot of victories that you want in a tournament at this point, but you got to think about it. This year, Baylor has beat UCLA, they beat Gonzaga, they beat West Virginia twice, and they beat Kansas. That's a murderer's row from that standpoint. And that says they're battle tested, and they have nothing to lose because nobody thinks they're going to do anything anyway. So we'll see what happens there too. And last but not least, I'll say that thought Tennessee was going to be right where they needed to be, but the fact that they lost their point guard for the rest of the season is going to be a major blow to them.
It is. Very, very major blow to there. And that's one of the teams that's at Black that's disappointed me this season. Tennessee and Virginia. Virginia has been losing a lot of games. They dropped down 7 spots to the number 13 spot. I thought they were going to be one of those teams that were, considering to be in the number 1 seed. They might not even get a number 2 seed the way they're playing. But your eye test on college basketball.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see what teams are really starting to sharpen themselves and make a move. I know you all want to dog Kansas. I understand. I get it. Say what you want to say. But I will say this, man. I had a chance to watch Houston, Alabama. I don't know, man. I know you said Purdue's kind of falling off. I'm not impressed with those 2 teams, bro. I'm just not impressed. I see a lot of deficiencies in both of them when it comes down to the tournament. I think they won a few games. I'm not sure, and Kansas is proven. I'm not saying I'm going to pick them, but they are proven. They're hanging around. And Ice kind of said something I was thinking along, too. I watched Baylor early in the year, and to see what they've gone through, what they're doing, what they battled back, they're tested, bro. They're tested. And to me, a team that's tested when the tournament comes along, I want to ride with them a little bit. I want to ride. Tennessee, I hate to see them kind of fall with their work because I thought it was going to be a little stronger towards the end. But I'm seeing a lot of these teams, man, that are playing, and I'm looking at them going like, I don't know. I just don't know. I can see them in 1 game or 2, but I'm looking at certain things they don't do well. Some of these teams don't shoot outside well, run them down the court. Some of them play good defense, but you got to be able to score in tight situations when the tournament comes along. So, yeah, it's starting to get good, man. It's starting to get good. I'm not going to say much more than that. I rather listen because you two don't think I pay much attention.
Oh, we know
I
you're
remember,
paying attention.
it's been a couple of weeks. I remember a couple of months
look.
ago, I was told to follow Rutgers, follow all these teams here, this team here. But I will say this, man. I watched the Arizona State game.
Yeah,
that was a good game, man. I know Arizona State. If they get in there, if they make it, I'm not sure if they're in the bubble or not, but Arizona State makes it in. That's a team to be reckoned with, man. Those cats battle. And the way to win that game the way they did, I mean, Hurley's he's coaching them up there. I don't think their record is indicative of how good they are. Arizona State, speaking of.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams that disappointed me this year, and I thought it would be better. Iowa State, I thought would be better. West Virginia, I thought would be better. Clemson, I thought would be better. North Carolina State, who started out really hot, I thought they would be better. And Missouri and Arkansas, those are teams I thought would be better. Duke is still fighting to try to get in, as well as Kentucky and Maryland, because they fell off for a little bit. And now Kentucky is 23rd in the nation. And so I'm looking forward to seeing if they can kind of pull it off. I kind of written off North Carolina. They may sneak in based on what they do in the next few games and in the ACC tournament. But I kind of wrote them off because now they're acting like they want to play basketball, but they're beating, I think they beat one top tier team, which was Virginia, who seemed to be falling off a little bit, but they struggled to beat Florida State. And Florida State probably won, 2 games in the conference, 7 games overall. And so I'm not impressed with that. But Ice, what are some of the other teams? Because one of the teams I think is a dark horse that a lot of people aren't paying attention to in the Big Ten is Northwestern. But what are some of the dark horses and some of the teams that disappointed you this year?
Oh wow. I mean, disappointment. I mean, it's a lot going on. I mean, I gotta say Ohio State, man. I mean, really. I'm not saying that because I live here, but I've never seen the situation where a team like that, even with new players, would come close to losing 20 games. I never in my wildest dreams thought that would ever happen. So that team there, probably another team that I thought was going to be better would be perhaps I thought Gonzaga would be better. Yes. I really did. I mean, they're going to be good, decent because of Timmy, right? It's because of that. But I thought they would be a lot better. I thought they would have jailed by now because what the coach usually does is he brings all those forces together and they really start to click. But I haven't really seen them like the Gonzaga teams of old. I've not seen them in that essence from that standpoint. And I also thought that a team like I thought Duke would be better, just because all of the hype and all of the draft pick, future draft picks and things of that nature. I thought they would be better, but they have not really shown that. I mean, they had stretches, but I thought they would be better. In fact, you think about it, you'd say the ACC is probably down a little bit.
Yeah,
so
I would say
interesting to see how the rest of this plays out.
Yeah, because I thought Virginia would just take the ACC, and teams like North Carolina State and Clemson would just take it because it's a down year for Duke and North Carolina. But Black, what are the teams that kind of disappointed you this year, and what are some of your dark horses that you think might kind of emerge as one of those teams that just sneaks up on everybody and puts themselves in a good position?
You know what? Probably, I'm not sure about dark horses yet. I probably got to wait till some of these tournaments starts, championship tournament starts, and I could probably maybe pull something then. Teams that disappointed me. I didn't know if I went in with teams that I thought that was probably favored to do some things. I do believe this though, man. I think that I know you spoke with Kentucky, and I'm thinking, if they don't make it to the tournament, how much longer do they keep that coach around? Same thing with North Carolina. If they don't make it, I think we'll see some turnover with head coaches, man, in the offseason. And some of these schools, some of these bigger name schools that used to being in the dance and find themselves not in the dance. Because think about Calipari, man. When the last time Calipari was really relevant at Kentucky, bro? And it's been a while. So you figure, I'm thinking this might be his last go round if they'll make it in. So I think we're going to see that there. I think it's a possibility you might see that again in North Carolina, man. Because I don't think the faithful are going to be happy, especially if Duke makes it in. If Duke makes it in, come on, bro. The favorite would be happy sitting at home, drinking beer, watching Duke in the tournament.
No, and Coach Pitino is sitting in the sidelines waiting because they're talking about him for new coaching jobs pretty soon. Maybe in the Big East. Watch out, watch your back, Patrick Ewing. This is another story in college basketball we meant to talk about last week. Brandon Miller, the Alabama star, who delivered a gun to former teammate Darius Miles before the shooting. And the coach, Black, basically said, hey, Miller was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He really kind of scoffed at it and really didn't take the situation seriously. He came back and apologized for being insensitive about the situation. But what really got me about this particular situation and the insensitivity of the player and the coach is when Brandon Miller came out in the last game and he stretched his arms out and had one of his teammates pat him down like he had a gun or something like that. And I'm like, if I didn't think that this guy should be sitting down before, right now, I think he should be sitting down, and maybe the coach needs to be sitting out too for the really insensitive comments towards the family of the woman who died over this incident. Your thoughts on this thing?
Well, it's interesting you say that because I mean, I don't say how he's still playing, but it's the March Madness, man. It's the money the March Madness brings. It's the fame it brings. My son goes to a school that the president, I think about a year ago, they made the tournament 2 years ago. University of Hartford, they made the tournament. They went in, of course, it was bounced down in the first round. The following year, this president decided he's no longer going to have the basketball be at Division I, and it brings it down to Division III. Guess what? He's resigning this year, bro. He's stepping down. What does that tell you, man? It says to you with the money, the influence, the power of March Madness, bro. It's like a drug. So if you're looking at, this cat here, I would assume if this cat was playing for Appalachian State or a school that probably had no chance of making the dance, even going well into the dance, he wouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be playing. If you brought a gun to someone that was used in a murder, to me, I'm very close to being an accessory, bro. Ain't like I brought you a pizza. I'm sorry. It's not like I delivered a Domino's to you, a gun. So I would have to assume if you brought him a gun at some point, that gun was on a college campus. If you're staying on college campus, what you keeping inside your car? I mean, realistically, you don't have to be Columbo to figure that out. So how is he still dribbling a basketball? And again, if you have your leadership, the head coach saying what he says, how could you be surprised? And the cat walks out and gets pat down because you're sending a message to them. Nothing else is important but winning this tournament. There's nothing else. There's nothing else playing. That cat's trying to go to the NBA. That's what you're basically saying. So I always say this here, man, as family members that send their kids to these schools, if you're allowing your kid to be at a place where they're not nurturing him as a young man, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm sure his parents think he's on his way to making millions, and the people around him, that's what they're looking at. They don't care anything else. The woman that lost her life, they care about that? That's college sports, man. That's college sports. Actually, that's the real world when it comes down to it. If it's not in my backyard, why are we talking about it?
Yeah. Ice, I know we were going to talk about this last week. We didn't do a show last week, but you and I talked offline, and you didn't know about the news. And I said he got patted down when we talked, and I'm like, that shows no class, no remorse, no respect for the family who's suffering from their daughter losing their life.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm glad you alerted me to that, but I did go back out and watch it, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it was just totally insensitive. And for something that serious, I mean, but there was a time when there wouldn't be no discussion whether or not this young man, Miller, was an accessory. That would have been, he'd have just been in jail with them too. There was a different time. Back in time, David just threw him in the jail as well. So the biggest thing, though, too, is like you mentioned, it is from the university standpoint and the coach's standpoint, you're in a time, okay, we're literally 2 weeks away now from the March Madness, right? 2 weeks away. When you look at that team, Alabama, they locked everything up. Okay, you number 1, 2 in the country. I mean, if you lose in the first round of your conference tournament, so what? You still number 1 seed. Why is he playing? Why is he playing? Particularly with all that's going on, all of the stuff is still lukewarm. We don't know what's going on. A lot of stuff is unspecified when it comes to the case, and a lot of people are still hurting. What is it going to hurt? Well, how would it hurt that team if he didn't play? If you sit him down and he doesn't play in the conference tournament and stuff starts coming out, even if he's not charged, and then you say, okay, well, you can practice, but you're not going to play again until the tournament, right? What is that going to hurt that team? It's not. It's not going to hurt them. I mean, I understand about the March Madness, but okay, you beating this team by whatever. He had 41 to 1 game, And then he's going around, giving people the finger and acting like he's all that, like he's the bad guy. Why is he playing? And the coach is lost because he's talking about, well, he's really remorseful now. Now, after you caught hell, now you remorseful? Come on, dude. We just got to be smarter. I mean, so like you mentioned, somebody passed away, somebody lost their life. You took the gun to the person, even if you didn't know they were going to do it. How can you just be chilling and acting like nothing happened? I don't get that part. That's the part of the thing really sad. And they talk about his dad, supposed to be a decent man or whatever, coming to his game. I hope his dad got a hold of him and realized too that certain things you just can't do, man. Certain things you cannot do, particularly if you have the aspirations to be a player on that level, the next level. Things will follow you around, and if you keep doing what you're doing now, who knows what's going to happen when you get to the league.
Yeah, it seems to be, and I'll go back to Black on this because we were talking about this before the show. It seems to be the culture of young Black athletes of this day. You have Ja Morant being accused of punching a 17-year-old kid 12 to 13 times and flashing a gun at him during a pickup basketball game last summer. And, he's trying to be a tough guy. We talked about, how him and his dad and Shannon Sharp getting into it in games. You got the number one draft pick or potential number one draft pick in the NFL, getting in trouble for drag racing and doing all kind of craziness. And it seems like when these guys aren't being punished for this or being reprimanded for this, they think they can kind of get away with it.
There was a time when there were, and it seems like it's starting to get lax again, bro. Because right now, I don't know what the NBA is waiting on. If that story is true, that Ja Morant did that to a 17, because that's a kid. That's a kid. If he punched him 13 times and flashed a gun, sit his black ass down. Suspend him. No question. Without question. I'm sorry. I don't care. I mean, they got this BS stuff about load management now. They ain't playing it. Let him load management for about 2 weeks. Because they need to wake him up, bro. Ja Morant's on the wrong trail, bro. Seriously, on the wrong trail. And it seemed like now stuff is going like it's about the player with Georgia. We talked, like you said, prior to the show, what happened and all this stuff. And I'm saying to myself, his stock is going to drop, but maybe not. Maybe not. Because some teams are they're going to overlook that and say, this is what he could do for our defense. And, character, morale now, hey, who cares about that, bro? Who cares? That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like, man. When I thought about that, I thought about the Oakland player. They did let him go. Remember the Oakland player a couple of years ago was killed someone, racing doing 100 miles per hour?
From Alabama.
It's like one thing about, I would assume, part is maturity. Sometimes you learn from others' mistakes. You don't want to be the one to make mistakes that people learn from. You want to kind of learn from their mistakes. And it seems like these cats are making mistakes and they're looking around going like, like you said, nothing happened to them. And it's like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. But until the people of authority starts to reprimand and hold them accountable, realistically, it's not going to wake up. Say this real quick and I got out of the way. Because they're saying this, man. I don't know what he did, but they're saying whatever enemy did a couple of times in college, whatever, it could be a lame excuse. Don't get me wrong. But, well, I'm going to say what it is. That's what they're saying. They believe that some teams don't want, that's like a dark horse. They don't believe they want to deal with that. Because you hire him as a head coach, here comes the questions. What about this? Even though it happened 20, 30 years ago, and I'm not knocking because saying he's a black man, but think about that for a second. Whatever he did, whether it's true or false, could be playing a part right now in his life where he can't succeed and get promoted. Think about that. So sometimes we think when we're young, we do dumb stuff and they forget about it. No, especially when you're black, they ain't forgetting about it, bro. They went at the opportunity to pull that file out and go, let me ask you about this. So these young cats don't think that. And Morant, at some point, your team gonna look at you and go, you know what? We don't want your services anymore. We're not. And I'm gonna say this real quick, man. I'll get out of the way, and it's a little off beat a little bit. Brittany Griner, NCAA. How do you bring her up on stage? Or not NCAA, NC whatever, National Image Award, NC whatever it is. How do you bring that chick up on stage and act like she's a good image for Black America? I don't get it. And so to me, it slides right in. She's in a foreign country breaking the fucking law. You gonna stand on stage and act like what? She won the Nobel Peace Prize? I'm done.
Yeah. Ice, it seems to be part of young black men culture in sports at this particular time. We'll excuse it. Oh, boys will be boys, not reprimanded, and then it escalates and it gets into something that nobody can control anymore.
Yeah, well, that whole thing about this social media and all of these fans, and now with the NIL coming in, but even with the pros level, these young guys feeling, they hanging out with the rappers and everybody making videos. They're so popular that they think that they can't be touched, and that's what it is. And the leagues, the pro leagues and the leagues are not doing any sports leagues are not doing anything about it. They kind of say, hey, here's what we need to do. We need to calm this down, because at the end of the day, if you want to affect somebody, you touch their pocket, bro. That's one thing. I remember we used to hear them wild stuff stories. I always talk about how nobody said they could control Dennis Rodman, right? Before he got to the Bulls. You're not even your boy Popovich down in San Antonio, just almost like he was the devil. He's like the Antichrist. And he said how horrible Dennis Rodman was. So Chuck Daly had him under control, supposedly, when he was a young guy. And then when Jordan said, hey, can we bring him in? Phil Jackson was like, man, I'm too old to be messing with you. And I got too much good stuff that I need to go home and relax with. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit you where it hurt. When you get wild, just put a check in the box, bro. When you come in from your wild nights, we got a basket. And he used to put checks in the basket, bro. After a while, Dennis Rodman was like, he killing me, man. He said, no, you killing yourself. So you just keep putting checks in the basket, dog. And that's what you do. You just keep hitting them in the pocket, because after a while, that money it starts to hit. I mean, how much money you have. But then again, like you said, when you're a star, that's what's wrong with the NBA now. They got all these guys on this high level thinking they're bigger than whatever, but half of them still can't really play. They're not winners. Back in the day, 80s and 90s, you at least have people that was winners and they carried themselves accordingly.
If I was a draft pick and Mark was doing, my cousin Mark up there, doing all kind of crazy stuff, and the team told me, listen, we're gonna cancel this $1 million contract if you hang out with Mark, I'd be like, Mark who? I love him. I love him like a brother. Yes. I know he would understand. Mark who? Go get that money, cuz. I'm not messing up my money. I don't know what these guys are thinking about. I'm not messing up my money hanging with somebody where they're like, listen, this guy gonna cost you millions of dollars in the draft, or this group's gonna cost you, or what you're doing is gonna cost you. You need to stop doing this. It should be, sometimes self-control, saying, you know what, I'm not messing up my money.
You're right. It's about you can call me a sucker wherever you want to, and we can fight in the neighborhood, but I'm not gonna let you. I ain't gonna let my mama mess my money up. Did you hear me?
Yeah. And Mark would do the same thing. Black Thor do the same thing with me. Don who?
like it'd be like this. Mama sit like Blood LeBron said. Mama, sit your butt down.
Yeah.
Don't mess the money up.
I don't get it, man. I mean, it's that old theory. You want to be down. You want to go back with your boys. You want to be down, whatever the case may be. And they're taking it way too far, man. They're taking it way too far. And old saying, man, you're judged by the company you keep, bro. You're judged at the end of the day. You're judged by the company. Ja Morant may not realize it. He's cutting off endorsement deals coming to him, bro. You may not realize it. You make enough money, but right now you are basically cutting off deals that could be coming your way. Endorsement deals, whatever, man. Your agents are going to have a hard time selling you anything other than being a thug. Let's be honest. If it's a thug thing, you're right for it, bro. Outside of that, nobody's going to spend money behind you. They're not.
Yeah.
And your game should have you there already. But watch and see, man, because cancellation is huge now. You ain't got to do nothing that big. Cancellation is huge. You know why cancellation is huge? Because they're not going to let you mess with their money. At some point, the NBA ain't going to let you mess with their money. And they're going to finally get rid of you. Find a way to get rid of you, bro. Keep on playing around. I'm serious. Cancellation. You think because you can fly through the air, do some dunks, that's going to be enough? Nah, bro. There's young cats right now will take a quarter what you're making that's ready to do it in the NBA. Yeah. Keep it up.
When keeping it real goes wrong. Let's go to the NBA. And is Milwaukee ever going to lose a game? They 15-0. And you got the Greek Freak telling KD, hey, man, you keep switching teams. Why don't you come work out with me so you can carry your own team? I'm like, yes, I'm here for that trash talk. But Milwaukee and Boston, I mean, they're on a collision course to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks in 5th place. You know, they won 6 in a row. Black, get your T-shirt, get your $5 T-shirt back out. What really pissed me off last week, and we didn't do a show last week, but I wanted to just kick right into ESPN and Fox Sports. They were talking about the Lakers. They're going to jump to the 6th spot. I'm like, what are y'all smoking? And here's why I think they're doing this, Ice, is because they got a lot of Lakers games. They got a lot of Lakers games. They're trying to keep people interested in watching the Lakers. The Lakers are done. They're not going to get into the play-in. They're not going to get that number 6 seed. If they do, I will be the first to say, hey, I apologize, but they got a lot at stake with the Lakers and LeBron. Hey, if you want LeBron to be in the playoffs, bring him in the booth during the playoffs. They're not going to make it anywhere else. Stop doing this, ESPN. Stop doing this, Fox Sports. LeBron and the Lakers are not relevant right now. Talk about the teams who are fighting to get spots in the playoffs right now. Ice?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the West. I'm going to start right there, though. I mean, before LeBron got hurt, I don't know what you was watching, but I'm trying to tell you, I don't know if they might make it in. I doubt it now with LeBron being hurt. But they were like, what, 4-1, 5-1 since they made that trade with Westbrook? So I'm not saying that you should give them all the love that Fox and ESPN's giving them, but you look at 7 through 10 in the West with Dallas, Minnesota, Utah, New Orleans, Portland, LA, and OKC. It's real close. They play a little ball. You never know. But without LeBron, it's probably going to be very tough, which means Anthony Davis is going to carry the load, and we know that's probably not going to happen. But I'm just saying, I can see how they could make a move to get closer to the play-in game, but now probably not. But to say they're going to be in the 6th spot, I wouldn't go that far. But to piggyback what you said about Milwaukee, I think they cheating, straight up. Because I'm sitting there going like, I looked at their roster. I was like, they won 10 straight. They on fire. You know, I ain't even talking about the Greek Freak. Drew Holiday is balling his butt off. Bobby Portis?
Yeah.
They still looking for Bobby Portis in Chicago for his game. How much he been disappointing. And he can show up now. Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton, whenever he's healthy, he will be healthy for the playoffs. You know how that is. And you keep going on. And then Jack Tripper, a.k.a. Grayson Allen, is balling. Nobody done told him something. He is right where he wants to be. He's very comfortable. He's on his team. It's like the old Celtics, man. Danny Ainge, cats like that, Jerry Sheasting, they come in there, they be knocking people down, falling down, tripping, shooting all kinds of jumpers, playing just their role because they're on a great team. That's who he is, bro. It's old school. And last but not least, they picked up Jay Crowder. How the hell y'all let that happen?
Sure.
Oh, my God. I'm sitting there going like, man, something was not right. I ought to call the NBA office. Because right now, like, you're just setting them up just to run through the East.
Man, they
and then
15 in a row. They haven't lost.
I'm saying they're good. But you know what? Greek, you better leave that sleeping giant alone, dog, if we get healthy. That's all I'm saying. You said you want to. I ain't mad. I ain't saying they're gonna win nothing, but I'm just saying, if he ever get pissed off and want to play, could be some things going on. It could be some real things going on. Last but not least, let me jump on this. In the East, I like Toronto. I think Toronto has the opportunity if they really want to play, since they didn't make the moves at the All-Star break or the trading deadline. They're on the heels of Atlanta on the 8th spot. I want to see what they do there too. And last but not least is Memphis is looking very vulnerable. 5-5 in their last 10. And the one Achilles heel that they have right now that you never would think possible, they having trouble scoring the ball.
Yeah.
With the great John Morant and all of the gangsters and all of the thugs, the thugging out. You can't score the ball with one of the best offensive players in the league. Y'all need to get y'all some veterans. Like my man said, Larry Johnson once told Nolan Richardson at Arkansas when they was dominating everything, he said, y'all need to get some grown men, son. Y'all need to get some grown men, because that's what we dealing with right now is grown-ass men in the NBA. Ain't no little boys. This ain't college, Mr. Brooks. This is some grown men trying to win some basketball games.
Black, you got Denver in the West, and not too many people. I keep talking about them, but They've been in at number one in the Western Conference for about 2 months. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Memphis is 5-5. Sacramento is trying to catch up with Memphis. They're number 3. Phoenix, they're waiting for KD to come back. And Golden State is at that number 5 position, and they're 6-4 in their last 10 without Curry. And the LA Clippers are trying to kind of gel before the playoffs with Westbrook coming there. I don't know how that's going to happen. And then Kyrie and Luka, I don't know how that's going to work either, because they can't seem to decide who's going to take the last shot or who's going to take shots in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm gonna start there with Kyrie and Luka, man, because I thought that move was a good move. What Kyrie has shown me, basically, Kyrie is a part-time player, bro. And he basically, when I watched that little bit of that game towards the end with the Lakers, that was despicable, Kyrie. That's despicable, bro. The way you was out there that game, fourth quarter, basically didn't want to touch the ball. Didn't want it. And when you got it, you shot scared. And you, like you said, Luka now is basically off. His game is off because he's trying to placate to you, so he's not doing his thing. And plus, Luka got beat up very well in that game. And I think we take for granted sometimes. We hear these names get traded to teams automatically when it's championship. Durant ain't gonna do jack doodoo in Phoenix, bro. I'm gonna say it right here. I'm gonna say it again. He ain't gonna do jack doodoo. And everybody falling out. Oh, they're gonna win. He ain't gonna do jack doodoo. Ice didn't say it, but he said it, but he didn't say it like this. With all what went on the trade deadline, the best pickup was Crowder going to Milwaukee, bro.
We said that a few weeks ago, yeah.
It's the best one, man. Where he fits into that team, and Greek figures right. If you want to do something, go train with him, KD. Go train with him, bro. Stop running around with all these teams trying to make him yours and doing nothing.
Come to death row.
Yeah, absolutely nothing, bro. I'll be honest with you. If KD to me, you know, I know they had a choice. You know where you should really went? You should went to Portland. Because maybe you and Dane could have done something together. But going to Phoenix with that old Chris Paul, don't know what he wants to be, what he wants to do. I don't see it happening, man. I don't. I'm looking back at Milwaukee going like, oh, Milwaukee's playing some basketball, bro. When it gets there, it's going to be tough in the East. Between Milwaukee, and I feel sorry for Milwaukee and Boston, but I feel sorry for LB because, you know, to get the playoff, Doc is going to mess up. He's going to, whatever they got going good now, Doc is going to mess it up. And that cat plays hard enough. He plays hard enough, man, to be able to win an MVP or get to the championship. I don't think it's going to happen. But I will say this, man. Since Shannon Sharp winning, when he still went onto the court, I haven't watched ESPN Sports. I haven't watched Fox Sports, man. I'll search around, get my information, but I refuse to watch those idiots anymore, bro. I just can't. I really can't. So I haven't seen the Laker love that you speak of, and I'm glad I haven't. I could imagine it was there because ESPN, they've been waiting for LeBron to win another championship. It's not going to happen. I just don't get it. Now, I think I saw a story of theirs that popped into my Google feed where they're talking about his son in 2024. What the freak are you talking about? 2024? That's what you want to do, is what his son going to do? If I'm not mistaken, he got to play at least 1 year of college. I think that's going to happen. So they talk about when he's going to leave, what team he's going to go with. Stop it, man. I can't. I just can't. And that was just like they had a news feed. So I'm just happy that I chose to shut them down. I keep my mind clear. I found other things to do. And it's just, it's because it's bogus. It's bogus. It's bogus. It's bogus. Like you said, Denver, the top team. No one shows Denver love. No one. And Djokovic goes to work every single night, every single game. And the man won the MVP twice. It's like they don't even talk about him. They don't. You better talk about what LeBron is doing, what KD's going to do, come back. I don't give a same thing with Aaron Rodgers. If you ain't playing, shut the F up about these players that ain't playing. Talk about the players that are playing at a ball and doing something, man. I want to hear about none of that stuff.
Yeah. I just don't, I know why they're doing it, because they got so many games that they're trying to promote that is hooked up with the Lakers, because they expected the Lakers to be, the team in the thick of things, and it ain't happening. And I said this before LeBron got hurt. It's not, you're gonna jump over all those teams right now with less than 20 games left. They're just gonna stop playing, and then they're gonna let you get to the number 6 spot. No, I didn't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But I know why you're trying to sell those games, because nobody's interested now. Nobody's interested. And the coach, maybe you're trying to sell tickets with LA. But here's what I want to know. There's one thing I want to know. Mac Millen was fired from Atlanta the week we were out. Was that a good move by Atlanta or a bad move by Atlanta? I'm going to go to Ice first.
Oh, my God. It probably was a good move, because they are really locked in on keeping the young man, the point guard. They're locked in on him. And sooner or later, you know that the way McMillan's old school, he was going to wear thin. I mean, when he first came in, it was like a breath of fresh air. But you know how that is, with Trey. After a while, wears thin with those young guys. So it probably was time. I'm not sure the right time was now for that. I think they should have maybe got an interim person, but they wanted Quinn Snyder real bad, so they locked him up for 5 years. I would have probably waited to let somebody else just run it through, or him being on the sideline, because I don't know how much difference he can make now. I mean, maybe that's how they want it. They don't care. He can do the best he can, and he starts from scratch. But yeah, the McMillan trade, I'm surprised that it lasted that long. I'll be honest with you. I mean, because Nate is kind of no nonsense. I mean, he got Trey Young up, and everybody's excited. They made the trade from the guy from San Antonio. Yeah. Things started moving, but then after a while, I think Trey started getting into his feelings a little bit. And I'm the star. I'm this. I'm that. I'm that. But again, when you look at Atlanta, they've tried a lot of things over the last few years since Trey's been there, and they always fall short. I mean, they made a little run. But now who you gonna keep blaming? You done went through almost 3 coaches? Who fault is it? Is it the general managers? Or are we looking at Trey? Trey, looking at Trey Young. And what is Snyder gonna do? You still gotta, at some point, this is my last point in this. At some point, as a very talented young player, if you watch basketball over the years, or your dad, whoever's around, they had to tell you, you can't win any significant games or championship games by yourself. You got to be surrounded with a core of people, and they got to believe in you. And one of the things you have to do as a young player, you got to learn how to be unselfish. He's moving the ball around, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to be a leader. And I'm not sure if Trey Young was at that point just yet.
Black, my personal belief is that McMillan wanted to bench Trey for Murray, because the team did play a lot more together and more cohesive under Murray at that point guard than Trey Young, because Trey seems like he's the shoot first and pass second. And I think that was the final, nail in the coffin for McMillan.
I'm going to say this, man. This story is really interesting in a sense, because I think, like I said, I think McMillan, he wears on people, and bro, you got to change your coaches. So it hasn't been working. And that's not to take the light off Trey, but you have to kind of change, because you can coach, but you go in there and something about you just doesn't work as short term, and it's real short term. It's so short term to where Atlanta said, it came out, bro. It's no secret. They're going to fire him in the offseason. They made it known. He's going to be done offseason. Now, you make that known. He's a lame duck coach. Why would Trey pay attention to him? Why would the players? So if you're going to say that, fire him 4 months ago, because he's a lame duck coach, they're not going to respond to him. So I'm not saying Snyder's going to be better, but that team regressed, bro. I think it was 2 years ago, had a good season, and we came in. Soon as the next season started, they went backwards. I mean, immediately. So to me, what did he do with that team in the offseason? How do you prepare him for that season? That's coaching. I mean, I know Trey's a young man, but guess what? If you're a head coach, you got to find a way to get to him. You got to be able to find a way to talk to him, find a way. That's the current sports layout, bro. You have to be able to find a way to get along with these players, man, to get into their heads. You can't go back to what you did 20, 30 years and expect it to work. And I don't think he has that capability. It's like he's just my way, whatever the case, that work. And that's why I think Monty Williams succeeds. Monty Williams, basically, he can adapt. He can go back and bring old school in, but he adapts to what's going on. So to me, again, they was going to fire him in the offseason. They made it known 3 or 4 months ago. He's out. Then why he's still on the sideline? I mean, you tell him you're going to basically fire him. He's not saying, no, you were talking about it. No, you're out of here. We want Snyder in, but we're going to wait through the offseason. The players are like, you know what? Why am I going to here play for this cat? You're going to drop. You won't even be here next year. I'm not listening to you. It's like I said, he became a substitute teacher when they said that, bro. And that was even after they had the problems. He became a substitute teacher. So what happened after that point? I'm not surprised. It didn't surprise me at all. And ain't no way, like I said, you fire him within a week or two. You no interim head coach. No, a week or two replace with the man you want. A week or two? Come on. Man, come on. There is no, come on. That speaks volumes.
Well, it was ironic because I read a story where the old the Celtics coach, the former coach, the Celtics kind of handled business with like a week within McMillan being fired. Like he may have been a candidate also for that job. But it sounds like from you two, Quinn was the guy that they were looking for.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. That brother be lucky if he works as a head coach or assistant coach in the G League and NBA, bro. I'm being honest with you. These owners, as much as they may not act like they like each other, they stick together. They click together. So what owner is going to go outside of what Boston did and say, yeah, come on in, bro. You had that one good year. I don't see it, man. I think Brooklyn's dumb enough to throw his name out there. And I think the commissioner made a phone call like, I'm serious, man. I could be wrong. But I think he's under contract, if I'm not mistaken, with Boston for another 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, they squashed that, I believe.
Huh?
I think they squashed that.
Okay. I don't think another team is going to take him on, bro. I could be wrong. No time soon. I think he got 2 years before he can probably come back and walk the floor, if that ever happens, as a head coach.
All right. Questions from the squad. Ice, what's your first question?
So, as y'all can see in my background, that's how we rolling. So, I wanted to throw this out. It's a little bit off kilter, but I want to throw this out. For the rest of your life, you get $10 million. You're gonna get $10 million, right? For the squad. And for y'all listening, y'all can put this down in our chat too on the social media. For the rest of your life, you can get, first of all, you can get $10 million, but for the rest of your life, you can only do 2 things when it comes to music. You got to pick a favorite group that you can only listen to all the time, and then you get 1 song outside of that group that you can listen to for the rest of your life. What are your choices? $10 million, bro.
What?
Wow, man. If you're gonna give me $10 million, man, and I only can listen to one group, ironically, man. Believe it or not, it would be a toss-up to me between Maze, Frankie Beverly, and Teddy Pendergrass.
You gotta choose one, man. You ain't no 2, 1.
If you push me to go, I'm gonna take Teddy Pendergrass, man. There was something unique about Teddy's song, the way he sung them, the lyrics, and there's certain songs to me he just brought to life. So I'm gonna take Teddy. I'm gonna roll with Teddy.
And you get 1 song from outside of that you can, for the rest of your life, you can listen to anytime.
Doesn't have to be Teddy.
Anything. Nope. Anything.
If it's not Teddy, give me I want Happy Feelings, Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Okay.
That's it.
I would have to go with Earth, Wind, and Fire, my group. I had to listen to them forever. Yeah, I could. And then I got to go with Sade. Is it a crime, baby? Is it a crime? I got to have at least one Sade record.
Oh.
Cry in the shower with. Is it a crime, baby?
Oh, my God. Wow. That's pretty good.
Ice, what's yours, man?
I almost chose Sade for the song. Every day is Christmas. That's my song. Every night's New Year's Eve. But that slow stuff started making you sad, so I had to go another way. And I really, really, really wanted to choose one of my Ohio groups because I live and die by. That's what I was raised on, everything too. So my group, as I thought about it, it's all over the place. I thought about Earth, Wind, and Fire, but my group, I was like, man, there's so many. The Isley Brothers, bro.
Yeah, wow. That's a good one too.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just something about that, bro. They take you from here, and they go here, and then they go back again. You're like, oh my God. It's just like fine wine, brother, and a fine woman. She just get better with time. So my one song I thought about an Ohio group too, and it really hurts me because I got a lot of Ohio group songs that I love. But then I started thinking about one song I could listen to every day. I mean, I thought about More Bounce to the Ounce. I thought about some other things. And I thought about 2 songs. And then the one I came down to it. I was singing it earlier today. I was like, I can't do it. I got to do it. Not just Knee Deep, bro.
Sure.
Knee Deep, bro.
Yeah.
The extended version. I can listen to that every day.
The 12-minute version.
Day.
Yeah. That's the one that Felipe win, am I correct?
Huh?
Is that One Nation in the group? When they have Felipe win from the
that's Knee Deep with Felipe win.
Oh man, that's the cut right there.
Yeah, when he does the solo.
Yeah.
Ain't no mistake. Funky music got what it takes to groove you sometime, knock you down, make you want to get up and down, do it one more time. Yeah.
I remember as soon as the drum roll came on at the beginning of that song, if you weren't careful, you got stampeded. Everybody trying to get to the dance floor.
Dude. That's when he was doing that Uncle Jam. That's when he was doing Uncle Jam.
Uncle Jam, yeah.
Bro. Wow. Yeah, bro. Good. Yeah, man. Woo! I can you play that right now. I'll be like,
all right, Black, what's your question?
I saw an article today, man. It kind of surprised me that Cleveland might be going through Deshaun Watson to revamp that contract, man. They're having second thoughts about that contract. I wanted to get you guys' opinion how that may play itself out.
Ice?
I'm not surprised. I mean, because they need to make some changes. And one thing you can do with the NFL is, you know how that money rolls, the money that's pushed up in the future, right? You can give him, you can take a player and you can take the contract and you can give them some of the more money up front, and it opens the door for back end money. So they get more money to spend because of the contract. It lessens it and it gives them more money for his roster. So, and I don't think Deshaun Watson's tripping. I mean, come on, bro. Think about how much money he got. He ain't tripping. You mean you gonna give me a few more better players? Yeah, we can do that. I mean, it's like all of the greats, Tom Brady, they made, concessions to do that. And we're not talking about your money right now. We're talking about money on the back end. And 9 times out of 10, let's be real, he's probably not going to make it to his contract. They probably end up paying him out anyway. I mean, is he going to play? How much longer is he going to play? So I'm not surprised. You got to do what you got to do to try to get some more players on the squad.
Yeah, I kind of felt that this was kind of built in to his contract. Like, we may have to come back to you later and do some things with this contract in order to get better players. And I think I don't think it would be a problem for him, because this guy was pretty much out of the league if Cleveland didn't kind of come back and say, hey, come play with us. And so I think this was kind of the understanding at the beginning. I'm really not surprised, because Cleveland does need some weapons to get to the next step, because they were there at one particular time when they were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and then they kind of fell back a little bit. So I think this was built in from the beginning, and I don't think this is a surprise to Watson at all. Black?
Yeah, I think you might have hit it there. I didn't think about that, but I think it's probably already written to his contract where we can probably come back and renegotiate and do some things, and they should, bro. I mean, I like the cat, but he's not worth all that, man. He's not worth it. That's a lot of money, and it's interesting to see if that happens, how that plays out for Lamar Jackson, because that's what he was shooting for. So interesting to see if it happens before his deal is done up. Interesting to see what takes place.
I have a question before we go to our last second shot. Has anybody been paying attention to the XFL or the USFL? I'll go with Ice first. Ice got his eyes closed. So, Ice.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, the answer is no. But I just recently, when you sent that article, I didn't know they was running at the same time. They both run at the same time. And I remember one of the names, AJ McCarron, used to play with Alabama.
Right.
He's over there doing that. And I literally almost turned the TV on, was a Sunday, to watch it. And as I reached the remote, I think my hand got a cramp and I had to let the remote go. I said, I ain't watching this bullshit anyway. But I hope they do well. But man, it's kind of like you know what they show in the around this time. I don't get it. I don't get it. I hope the guys do well, but I can't see myself really paying that much attention to it.
Black?
No, I haven't, man. They got a lot of opposition going against them, bro. They just do. It's for some reason. I mean, the NFL, let's face it, been around for a long time. But I think another thing too, man, it's hard to really pay attention to football this time of the year. We're not programmed to do such. When the NFL ends the Super Bowl, it's like a withdrawal. I know for me, it's been over the years, it's like a withdrawal. It takes like a week or so to kind of really get out of your system. You're not going to be watching it on Sunday. And they can try, but they have to hype it up real much for us to kind of really want to focus. And I'm going to say this, I'm not saying it will succeed, but that flag football pro game, our game the NFL did, you may want to do a league like that, bro. Just go out there and have some players do some flag football and have fun. Do something different. Maybe that might catch on, bro. Do leagues, and my thing is do leagues. They ain't gotta be pro players, whatever. Do some leagues, do that, and maybe in local communities and put it on television. Who knows, bro? Who knows? But this right here, I don't see people who are gonna really get involved every weekend with their beers and pay attention to what's going on, man. I don't think so.
I gave it the old college try. The first night it came on, and it was like after two plays, I was like, I can't do it. It's almost like you're right. Like you get programmed to watch NFL college and NFL football, and once the Super Bowl is over with, it's like your body and your mind switches over to basketball, now baseball,
Yeah.
spring season is
Mm-hmm.
about
Yeah.
around the corner, and you just can't get locked into football anymore unless you really have some vested interest in it. I even was going to ask whether or not we wanted to do some picks on it, but it ain't gonna happen.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I know this is really over the top, and y'all gonna come after me. I'm sorry though, but if you really want people to watch this, but I think that the people that are involved are really trying to make it more of a developmental league. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I know they're trying to say, well, this guy is really good and he might have a chance to come back to the NFL. But it's kind of like how they've done boxing. I'm gonna go Puma way right now with Jake Paul and boxing and stuff. How they was doing with all of that anyway. But if you really want to get this league, one of these leagues popping off, particularly the XFL. So it's USFL and XFL, right? Right.
Yep.
XFL is the one that had He Hate Me and all the other stuff on the back of the jersey. If you want to do this, here's what you do. And some of these guys will probably do it just for the reason. You go out, there are some dudes that's old or guys that say they still can play. You go out and get them, okay? Terrell Owens has been wanting to play for forever. Put him back out there. Ocho Cinco might play, some other dudes. And I'm going to say this to you, and don't think I'm trying to be funny, I'm trying to be crazy, but I guarantee you make this happen, you'll get some people to watch. I call Colin Kaepernick, come on out, bro. Go on, put your jersey on. Real talk. If you want to play, let's get it. Now you got some people that are coming in, guys you might be familiar with. They throwing the ball around. Now you got my attention. I want to see King Kaepernick still play since he want to play so bad.
I would watch it if he went and go play.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Do you talk about making some money? Let's make some money. Let's bring back some older cats. Let's bring back dude that don't want to show up all the time, but he swear he's still good. Let's bring back Johnny Manziel. Bring back all these truck problems. Tim Tebow. Hell, bring them back. Yeah, bring them back. You think you still got game? You know, Michael Vick, can you still throw that thing, baby? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bring them back. Bring these old running backs. Shady McCoy, you talking about BN, can't do that. Can you still run? Bring him back. Bring him back.
Yeah, that was unnecessary, man. I like Shady McCoy. I'm just
saying, if you that you want to use, people love controversy. So
Shady McCoy might be correct, but you don't out him like that, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, he's never really been a big fan of mine, because he did some other things I'm not even going to mention that, trying to have these private parties with these women and all this other stuff. But nobody outed him out on that. But out and be enemy. Okay, all right, I got you. I see you.
Yeah.
Last second shot.
Well, if I'm going first, man, I'm gonna go back to Brittany Griner, bro. I mean, I have no problem with what happened, transpired, her coming back home. But if you're gonna do an image award show, bro, now if you want to just speak on her, it's a different story. But to bring up when the show where, and I didn't pay attention, but when I understand you get up, you did some type of thing to her, and they applaud him. I'm sorry, man. At some point, as a race of people, we got to put down the triflingness. And what she did, it was trifling. We gotta put it down. See it for what it is. Stop overlooking stuff. We gotta, when it's wrong, it's wrong. When it's right, it's right. And to me, that's dead wrong, bro. But this is the same organization for years that was allowing the owner of the Clippers, and they was giving him an award every year, the racist he was. So why am I surprised?
Ice?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with old Shady McCoy, Sean McCoy. Came out and said he didn't think that Eric Bieniemy was going to be good as a coach. He's not going to be good as a coach, offensive coordinator, and definitely as a head coach because of the fact that he just didn't like the way that he handled his business, and he just was not really a player's coach and things of that nature. And he went even deeper. And then he comes back around and is like, well, I want to see the black man do well, but I'm just saying. That's personal, bro. We all know it's personal. If you really cared about him, why would you even have to say that? It's already enough struggle with African American men and men of color trying to get a job in the first place. And you want to go down and tear a man down that has been in the last 5 AFC championships, won a couple of Super Bowl rings and is ready to make his next step. Even if you hate the guy, because whatever, they told you couldn't play anymore in Kansas City, you gonna go after him, and you had the desire to say you want to be an NFL analyst or whatever you want to be on TV. I mean, in the neighborhood, bro, we looking at you like, man, we don't respect you like that, bro. Now, you might have some friends that might be like, it was cool, man, what you said. The people from around the way, and I'm one of them along with some other people too, that was foul, man. How we going to respect you? We already had trouble again trying to make it in this journey, and you're going to put the man down. Even if that's what you really believe. Bro, you ever heard some stuff called barbershop talk? Keep that at the barbershop. Keep that at your house. You didn't have to come out for that man like that. Seriously, that's just really sad to me. And it says a lot about, or lack of, your character, and you're still around here running your mouth. There was no need to say that about that gentleman. It's a damn travesty that he had to interview for 16 different jobs and can't get one of them, while other people with no coaching experience or no coordinating experience at all got him. You can't tell me that man can't win some games. I hope he proves everybody wrong, especially you, Shady.
Yeah. On that note, I felt it was so unfair for him to have to go to another team to quote unquote prove himself. I was really sad when he was Bieniemy, I'm talking of, really having to go through that to kind of make a lateral move instead of a head coaching move. But I really liked how he handled it. And they asked him about it. And he said, you know what? I can't be, distracted by all the noise on the outside. I do what I do. And I really have to respect that. So when people say the guy doesn't interview well or he really can't handle that, from the last few years I've been watching him speak when he's on a mic and they're asking him questions. And I've been impressed with the brother and how he kind of handles things. And maybe he's just kind of grown into his own in the last few years with the Kansas City Chiefs. But, when you have Mahomes saying, I got a lot of respect for this guy and I hope he really does well and he's going to be missed, he had an impact on that team somehow, some way that you didn't, Shady McCoy. So I really don't take your words as or give you credit or any credibility when you were trying to give out a private number to get women up into a hotel room to have a private party with just you. You could have been Deshaun Watson before Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. But that's another show. We'll see you next week. Take care.